Hello everyone and welcome back to Jeff Rambles, a series where I just talk about whatever the hell's on the top of my head at the time when I don't have an actual video prepared for everybody. Holidays are killer. Seriously. Oh my god. So today I decided that since we're so close to the new year, I would go ahead and pull out my list of my most anticipated games coming out for next year, 2020. So this is not a list of in order. There's no particular order to it. It's just thrown out off the top of my head. And if your games aren't on that list, well, let's just call that celebration of diversity, because everybody's got different opinions and different things they're looking forward to. So with that out of the way, the only ground rule that I really have for this is that it has to have a confirmed 2020 release. It may not have a specific release date, but it's confirmed 2020. So, otherwise, Breath of the Wild sequel would be on here. Most people theorize it'll be holiday season by 2020. It's certainly reasonable to assume as such, but it's not confirmed 2020. So there you go. And of course, anything on this list could be pushed back any number of months or days, depending on whatever happens in the development cycle. Who knows? But as of now, everything on here is confirmed 2020 release. So let's go ahead and start right off with Half-Life Alyx. Oh my god. I mean, I've covered in my reaction before, I've covered in my analysis of the trailer, everything. I am a huge Half-Life fanatic. I have been since day one of the original Half-Life launch, and I've been waiting for so long for a continuation of the series. That it's a prequel is a little disconcerting, but that it opens the door to actually getting a legitimate continuation of freaking Half-Life is amazing. The fact that I don't have access to VR and I'm too poor to buy VR is, a huge downer on this. I'll have to watch other YouTubers playing it. I'll have to experience it through their eyes, so to speak. But oh my god, Half-Life is finally back, and hopefully it's here to stay. The Valve, keep Half-Life around. don't tug my heartstrings anymore. So continuing on from there is another one that's been a long time coming, which is Psychonauts 2. Oh my lord. The Tim Schafer's most popular, most famous game, Psychonauts, finally getting a sequel. It's one of the most unique, breathtaking, artistic, cartoonish worlds I've ever seen. And it's amazing. I love Psychonauts. It's on my top 5 all-time favorite games list, Psychonauts. I can't tell you how many times I've played through and beaten Psychonauts, and there's always something new you can find around the camp. It's just amazing how detailed everything is. There's constantly jokes flying left and right. It's completely, utterly charming in every way. The characters are so fulfilling. I love Psychonauts, and finally a sequel. My heart. Which will bring us to the most cinematic title on this list, The Last of Us Part 2. I mean, The Last of Us, how many Game of the Year awards did that thing win? It's no surprise that The Last of Us Part 2 was on here. I played through it twice, mostly because I engaged with the story a lot more than with the gameplay, which I think is probably most people. But it's one of the few games to make me cry multiple times playing through it. The winter chapter, playing as Ellie, was so freaking intense. really, and everything about it is, oh my lord, The Last of Us. I, I hate mushrooms. I can't stand mushrooms. I do not eat mushrooms. I use The Last of Us as a justification to everyone why I don't eat mushrooms. So, if you, like me, do not like to eat fungi of any kind, just point to The Last of Us and let them know this is what you get when you allow a fungus into your body. So that'll take us on to a long-running series that is near and dear to my heart. The Resident Evil 3 remake. No, I love Resident Evil. I do. Resident Evil is... I attribute it for helping me get over my fears and my night terrors, especially Resident Evil 4, again, which is on my list of all-time favorite games, top 5. It's probably number 2, Resident Evil 4. I just love Resident Evil for a variety of reasons. I love the lore, I love the gameplay, the atmosphere, the pseudoscience behind everything. The characters are good to me. Resident Evil 2, I missed getting on the remake bandwagon for RE2, and that's very sad to me because it's one of my favorites. And Leon's my favorite character. But if I'm poor and can't always get the games that I want on time. So I missed RE2 remake, and I don't intend to miss RE3 remake. It's just I like zombies, and does not like zombies. She thinks they're overdone. I think there's always new things you can do with them. And Resident Evil is one of the long-running series, one of the most classic series. And I'm really excited to see 3 get its time in the limelight with the totally brand new rebuilt from the top engine. So before I get to my 5th on the list here, some honorable mentions. These ones are games that I think definitely look interesting, and I'm excited to see where they go with them. But we don't know enough about them yet, or they don't quite scratch the itch that I like the most. So we got Godfall, which looks like a really cool blend of sci-fi and fantasy. I always love blending those two genres together. That's what I'm doing with my Magic the Gathering set that I'm custom making, that I'm really into. Ghosts of Tsushima. I love Japanese culture, and I mean everything about it. I love most culture, honestly. The Japanese in particular. I love their stories, mythologies, and the trailers for Ghosts of Tsushima just look really cool to me. Cyberpunk 2077. I am absolutely an advocate for transhumanism, and I cannot wait to plug computers into my brains. But it really shows a future that I think is not too far off in terms of the corporate and political landscape. A lot of changes need to happen in life, I think. And Keanu Reeves. What's not to love there? It's Keanu freaking Reeves. Which will bring me to the final game on my list for my most anticipated. And I'm cheating on here. It's actually 2. It's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 and Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. I love World of Darkness. Classic World of Darkness in particular. But any World of Darkness, I love it. I inject it into my veins. It's my all-time favorite role-playing system, my all-time favorite role-playing stories. I love horror. I'm a big gothic horror in particular nut. Urban settings, gothic urban, classic werewolves, vampires, the whole lots. Writing my books all on these topics. And the World of Darkness, like, it's my all-time favorite role-playing series. That's what else is there to say? The fact that Bloodlines is finally getting a sequel after so many years, the fact that they're actually, bringing more into it and making it werewolf is awesome to me. I can't wait to play them. I can't wait to try them out. I hope to be able to put them up on the channel. That would be fantastic for me. Like, the stories behind, it's such a rich, deep lore that I really can't describe. And there's issues with the lore. It's not really fitting together in a classic World of Darkness, between the mages, the werewolves, the vampires. Like, they all have different mythology and how the world was made, where life comes from, and everything that don't clash together, but they're supposed to work together in the same universe. And that's a little weird. But then the modern World of Darkness kind of skirted around that by just kind of laying the foundation and saying you decide how things go, which works fine. Personally, I like to go with the route that all of their mythologies are true, despite the inconsistencies and conflicts, which creates a lot more intrigue in my mind. Of course, your mileage may vary on that, but Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I never actually got to play the first one, but I have seen a couple Let's Plays on it, not complete playthroughs. But it's right up, there's so much deep characterization to be had. There's with World of Darkness, okay, let me find my center here. I sincerely believe all great characters have an element of tragedy to them. They don't have to all be super edgelord darkness. They don't all have to be Batman. They don't all have to be, it's me. No, but like, every character has some element of tragedy in there. In the World of Darkness, it is a very tragic world. It is a very, as the name implies, dark universe. And it opens the floodgates up to so much depth in how we deal with our traumas, how it helps shape who we are, and where we go with our joy and happiness as well. And overcoming darkness is what life's all about, isn't it? So that's why it's my most anticipated. I know I said this wasn't ranked, but those two are my most anticipated, is Vampire and Werewolf. So with that in mind, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, hopefully. If you enjoy what I do here, check out my other videos, and leave a comment on what your most anticipated game of 2020 is. And you don't have to follow the same rules I do. If you want to say Breath of the Wild sequel, say Breath of the Wild sequel. It's all you. So, thank you again so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, I can't let you go without your big cheer. Hell yeah!